We heard earlier today that jobless claims hit a 10-month low last week, and our next guest runs a 23-year-old executive search firm focused on financial services and asset management. He says right now in the finance world, the unemployment psychology has stabilized. Has the job market bottomed, though? We're putting that question to Hank Higdon. He's managing partner at the firm that bears his name, Higdon Partners LLC. Thank you so much for joining us. Fewer than expected Americans filed for unemployment last week. Have we stabilized? Are we getting any kind of hiring happening?
Well, I think that we perhaps have stabilized. It's tough to determine that from those figures by themselves. We do see the unemployment number, 10.2% increasing. But I think the psychology's changed. There's still a lot of caution in the prospect of hiring. We think that we've seen some signs of encouragement, and I do believe that now at the turn of the year, when we hit January, that we'll see steady signs of hiring across the board.
Start to see positive payrolls by January, you think?
Well, I think more of an abatement of the decline.
Okay.
It may not be that the unemployment number is going to go down. I think we see that increasing. That number usually is a lagging indicator after economic growth. But the psychology definitely has turned.
Well, this week alone, we saw another 11,000 jobs cut around the world. We had Adobe out there cutting, AIG, Sprint, Electronic Arts. So the firings haven't stopped yet. When people are walking out the door at these firms right now, what can they expect? We know unemployment's been extended, but what does severance packages look like?
Well, frankly, they are very skimpy. They may not exist at all. Because you have to worry about the people you're retaining, not the people you're releasing. And it's a bad sign to say to someone, you can't get a raise or you get no bonus, but we're going to be very generous to the person we just let go. And except at the very senior level, and even then, the contractual severance agreements have been modified, as you well know. But the severance cannot be. Usually it might be, thank you very much, you can leave this afternoon, and we might give you nothing. We might give you 2 weeks. So unless it's encouragement to retire, like early retirement packages, where they are slightly more generous, of course.
Well, when we hear that, though, I would imagine there's the extension into any jobs that are being created right now. Like, has this pressure that we're experiencing right now changed the kind of contract you can expect to get if you do find a job? What's the new normal for your kind of pay package?
Well, the new normal is it's a skeleton of what it used to be. You cannot expect severance, even if you're the newly appointed CEO to Bank of America. That's going to be a much reduced package, not only because it's a TARP-funded company and subject to the paymaster, but even if it's not a TARP recipient, the leverage is in the employers and not in the employee today. No question about it.
Now, people will look at these claims for unemployment benefits and say, well, maybe there's a fatigue factor at play here. People have stopped looking, perhaps. People have stopped filing, perhaps. Is there any truth to that, or are you seeing real hiring at play here? I mean, is there a fatigue factor that's setting in?
Well, one could certainly get discouraged, and they talk about the discouraged workers, of course. If you've been unemployed for 2 weeks, you can get discouraged, let alone 9 or 12 months. But I think that, and there's definitely a fatigue factor, and of course the numbers are that there's 6 people looking for every job, and that can get discouraging. But the good news is everybody's only looking for one job, and there are jobs out there. So anybody who gets discouraged is not doing themselves a favor, even if they continue to be on this extended unemployment insurance.
Often with the old model for severance packages, there was a program to help you sort of find the next position, have an office, some of these outplacement firms. Are they in danger of no longer existing if we're seeing severance packages, as you say, a skeleton of what they once were?
No, I think there's a real role for outplacement firms, as a matter of fact, but their ability to help a fired employee find a job is limited to the job market. So their ability to be help being defined as securing an opportunity for someone who's looking for a job, I think the expectations are unrealistic, what they can do. They can be very helpful in terms of helping somebody get through the disappointment of being terminated, of putting a resume, who to talk to, how to talk to them, how to present themselves. and being sort of a counselor and a coach. But in
Right.
terms of finding a job, they cannot necessarily be helpful.